right, we are back. My name is Vince Ainger, your host this morning. In the studio with me this morning is George Morales, as I mentioned. He is the Director of Continuing Care at Gordon Ridge. And George, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I think you mentioned you've been on Channel 6 once before.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is your first time I've had an opportunity to meet you. And you've got some things to talk about, I guess.
Sure. We just have a couple of updates from Garden Ridge. Upcoming in September, September 9th through 15th, we have Assisted Living Week. And it's a real exciting time for us where we have a lot of special programs and events going on, including we're going to have a live concert with some opera performers, night of surf and turf, a few other concerts, and just a real exciting time for us during that Assisted Living Week.
Sure.
For our residents at Garden Ridge. So we're real excited about some of those things coming up in September. And one other event that we have coming up also in September, but more towards the end of the month, I believe it's September 25th, is the Alzheimer's Walk. Mm-hmm. And from my understanding, we've had a lot of folks who have signed up to participate with that walk. It's going to be held in Reston, and for anyone who's interested in signing up to participate in the walk, they can see Renee Budd, who is our program manager at Garden Ridge, sure. And she can help get signed up. We're providing transportation. There's no charge or anything like that to participate, but we're having our residents from IL. We'll have some residents from Garden Ridge, and also our staff is all encouraged if they're willing and able to participate. This is going to be a really fun event. I believe it's something that has been done several years in a row from Green Spring, and it's, we're looking forward to another fun year.
All right, good. So you've been at Green Spring how long now?
Just over 2 months. I started June 2nd.
Yes. And a lot of changes at the top, mm-hmm. and which I would think would create a little bit of difficulty in terms of continuity of procedures and processes and so on, but that's going all right?
Sure. Yeah, it's certainly been a challenging time, particularly for the staff who have been here for many years. We have a lot of excellent long-term staff at Garden Ridge, and there have been some changes. What I hope has been positive for me, it's been very positive to afford me the opportunity to come and work here at Green Spring and be part of Garden Ridge, and to join a really great team there. And I hope that moving forward, those changes continue to be positive for our residents, for our families, and for our staff too.
Yeah, sure. There's been something called repositioning that's been in the wind here for some time, and to my knowledge, there's not a date set for that yet. We're still.
Correct. This has been a very popular topic just in the short 2 months I've been here. But the repositioning, again, is something we're very excited about. I think it's going to be a very positive change. I have not gotten any confirmation on an official start date for the project and construction and all that. But I've been shared a little bit about kind of the vision of what that repositioning will look like. And we're very excited about that. My understanding is the folks who are involved in design and managing that project are wanting to make sure they get it right the first time, yep. And that we don't start the construction, start the project without the design we feel is going to be good for our needs now and our needs moving forward into the future.
Yep. And the permit process takes some time, and we won't be able to start that, I guess, until we know what the final design is going to look like.
Right. I believe that there was an update given at maybe a month or so back at a resident meeting, and there have been some delays related to permitting, mm-hmm. And because there's been some tweaks in the design of the repositioning project, I believe there's a need to resubmit some permits because there's been some changes in the design. So
sure. What's the total staff, George?
So at Garden Ridge, we're actually just starting to work on our budgeting for the upcoming year. So these numbers I've just looked at yesterday, but I believe our full-time equivalent staff is currently right around 335, mm-hmm. And that's full-time equivalent staff. So it's a combination of full-time, part-time, and PRN staff.
Yeah. Now, we have residents in RC. Tell us 4 floors in RC, I think.
Yes, there's 4 floors
Yeah.
in the Rose Court side of Garden Ridge, and the first 2 floors of Rose Court are assisted living, and RC 3 and 4 are skilled level of care.
Sure.
And then on the other side of Garden Ridge is the Evergreen side, and Evergreen first floor is assisted living. Evergreen 2, or EV2, is skilled nursing, where our short-term rehabilitation residents come to us for short-term rehab. Yeah. And the 3rd floor of Evergreen is where our memory care, which is an assisted living level of care, but is a specialty floor designs and programs specifically for residents with cognitive impairments and in need of memory care.
Sure. I might mention here that there were some ladies here after my wife passed. There were some ladies here who got me involved in ballroom dancing, which I can tell you is a lot of fun. The 3rd Wednesday of every month, we go over to Garden Ridge, and the first floor there, what is it, a conference area?
The meeting room.
The meeting room, okay. And we dance with residents. Mm-hmm. And all of you Green Spring residents who are looking for something to do tomorrow night after dinner, come over. You can dance if you want. You can just watch. It's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. The first time that I went, Diane, the studio manager here, sent me with my with a camera to do some filming, and I was really touched. It's a really nice thing. Yeah. So, George, what else is there to talk about?
So, well, to kind of piggyback on what you just brought up, I've only been here a couple months, but it's been very encouraging to me to see a lot of support from residents in independent living who come over to visit us, to spend their time and their talents, to share with our residents in Garden Ridge. We're always want to encourage folks to come over and visit us and spend time with us. Yeah. And I've had an opportunity, because we have a lot of support, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of really wonderful independent living residents who do make it a point to come over regularly or as much as they can. And it's just been really nice to build some relationships with people who are giving of their time
Yes.
to assist us over there.
Yeah, yeah. When my wife was a patient there, I would go over and I would volunteer. I would push patients to and from the gym, mm-hmm. Which, of course, saved time on the part of the therapists. They didn't have to worry about that. So nice volunteering opportunities there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes, George.
Okay.
We have to fill in somehow.
Okay. I can talk a little more about coming up. I mentioned the Assisted Living Week, and that's going to be kicked off on September 9th. Now, this is I mentioned the concert. So got a couple of special guests coming to perform. The first performer is a gentleman named Azamat Sidikov, who is a world-renowned pianist. He's based out of New York. He's performed all over the globe. He was recognized for his talent on the piano at a young age, I believe 5, 6, 7 years old, in his home country of Kyrgyzstan. And when they recognized his talent there, his parents actually sent him to Russia mm-hmm. to study piano with some world-famous Russian school for pianists. And so he was a classically trained pianist and has, through his teenage years and into being an adult and a professional now, has performed all over the world. So he's going to be a very special performer coming. He'll be performing some instrumental pieces. And he will also be accompanying a soprano who is also based out of New York. Her name is Nicoletta Rallis. It's actually my sister.
Really?
And she's an opera singer. She attended the Oberlin Conservatory in Ohio, where she received her bachelor's and just finished her master's degree in music at Brooklyn College in New York. And she'll be performing some operatic arias that evening of September 9th. And it's going to be at Garden Ridge. Because we have limited space, it's going to be an event that's limited just for Garden Ridge residents. But, if things go well and their performance is well received, maybe we could have another performance so our other residents in independent living could enjoy that too.
Sure. You have a sister and any other siblings?
Yeah, I have my older sister. Her name's Anna, and she and her family live in Raleigh, North Carolina. She's an attorney. Actually, she and my brother-in-law are both attorneys and had lived in Washington, D.C. for about 10 years. They both still work for their law firms based out of D.C., but work from home in North Carolina. So I do have some family ties to the area, still have a lot of extended cousins and relatives who still live in and around Washington, Annapolis, Maryland, and also in Alexandria, Virginia, too. So.
Good, good. You're all doing well. It sounds to me that there was some good parenting that went on here.
I've been very fortunate with the experiences I've had growing up. Very supportive parents, allowing me and my sisters to pursue what they wanted to do, professionally and in personal life. So, been very fortunate. And one of the nice things that moving to Northern Virginia, it's not too far to go home and visit my parents who still live in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina.
Sure, sure. You were on Channel 6 once previously, so you've been introduced before, but I don't know, we've got maybe a minute or so, George. What else can you tell us about yourself? How did you get here? Where did you come from?
So I moved here from Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I was living and working in Asheville for the last 4 years. And when my girlfriend decided to relocate to accept a job at the Georgetown Hospital,
Sure.
Was kind of faced with the decision to, commute 8 hours or make the move myself to continue to be with her. So ultimately, just made what I think has been a very good decision so far.
Sounds
to
like
make the move.
It sounds like a good decision to me. We're coming to the end here, George. I thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Vince.
And stay with us, Green Spring. We have home support coming up.